two were found stabbed to death that night in a Naperville townhome.
In the city of Naperville lived a boy called Justin Plackowska. He was 7 years old. He was a well-liked third grader who loved reading books about superheroes and making his classmates laugh. Olivia was 5 years old. She was a family friend of Justin. In 2012, Justin's mother, Elzbieta, took both children to the St. Elizabeth Catholic Church. Upon arriving at the church, they met a priest who blessed them. But then hours later, Justin and Olivia's bodies were found. During this period, Elzbieta was married to Arthur Plackowska. He was away a lot during the week because he worked as a truck driver. Elzbieta herself cleaned houses and babysat children. The couple filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2009. A foreclosure in her name was filed in 2007, so they were experiencing financial difficulty. But things for Elzbieta got quite bad because her father, who lived back in Poland, he died. She normally consumed vodka once or twice a week, but after the loss of her father, she started to drink more. She became more and more stressed and started sleeping less. She would sleep only a couple of hours and then go to work. One day, Arthur and she were having a conversation. She said to him that she saw the devil in Justin when he was sleeping. After that, she started making Justin watch religious movies. It was claimed that during this period, Elzbieta was becoming paranoid. Now, Olivia's mother, Marta, hired Elzbieta as a babysitter for Olivia. Her duties included picking Olivia from school and babysitting her until 9 p.m. But she never gave her permission to take Olivia to the church, or that Justin and their dog could come to Marta's house. So just to confirm, Elzbieta is the mother, Justin is her son, one of the victims, Olivia is a child she babysits, that's another victim, and Marta is the mother of Olivia. So on October the 30th, 2012, Marta arrived home from work and noticed that Elzbieta's car was not parked outside. She drove to her house and tried calling her multiple times, but there was no answer. She then called the police, who told her to go to the police station. And there she was informed that Olivia's life had been taken. Now, on the same day at 11 p.m., Elzbieta was covered in blood when Matt, her older son, saw her. She said she had been attacked at Marta's home by someone who was dressed in all black. At one point, she stated that the man looked like the devil. She claimed this devil inserted a knife into the children and then tried to take her life. She said this man had been stalking her, and he said to her he wanted to kill her and her whole family. So immediately, Matt called 911 and police were sent to Marta's house. Officers forced their way through the locked door, and there was a large pool of blood that led to the master bedroom. Inside the master bedroom, Olivia was found dead on the bed and Justin was found dead on the floor. There were also 2 dead dogs. I'm going to go through some of the details. Brace yourself. Olivia had 94 separate incisions of a knife on her body. Justin had 173. Whoa. They both died from blood loss due to their wounds. Police found a knife in the garbage disposal. During this, police were also sent to Elzbieta's residence, where she was with Matt and all the blood was on her. When they walked into the house, she was on the floor in the fetal position. When asked what happened, she said that she had been at Marta's house and went outside to smoke. When she was outside, a man entered the house. She said she could not give a description because it had been dark outside. She said that the blood on her was from the children and that she saw the man with the knife. She was then transported to Edward Hospital. At the hospital, she initially denied doing this to the children, but then she told the police the truth, that she took Olivia and Justin to church in the evening and the priest blessed her, which made her very happy. After church, they went to Marta's house. The kids were playing in the bedroom when she saw something black that said, "Do it now." She told the kids she was going to take their lives and told them to pray. She told Justin that he had the devil in him and made him sit in the prayer position. She then inserted the knife everywhere to make sure that it was done perfectly so he would go to heaven. She told Olivia that she loved her and then did the same to her, just like Justin. Then she killed the dogs. After that, she went back to church and knocked on the door. No one answered, so she called and left a message saying, "I killed someone today." She threw her cell phone out of the car window while she drove away. She threw it out because she thought the police would be tracking her. She did not get a hotel room because she knew the police would be looking for her car. She drove home because she went to kill Matt. She said she would have taken Arthur's life too if he had been there, because she wanted everyone to die with a perfect death. She claimed that she did this to the children because she was not appreciated and was so tired of her life. She wanted to get back at Arthur to make less work for herself. So eventually she was arrested and taken to jail. On October 31st, 2012, she was observed pacing, talking to herself, grunting and growling, pretending to cradle a baby, making knife motions and kicking the wall and toilet. She even said that a child was sleeping on the blanket in her jail cell. And she also acted as if she were pulling clothes out of an imaginary dresser and putting on pants. Jail personnel gave her medicine to calm her down and did not think that she was faking her symptoms. So the question is, why? Why do all this? What was the conditions or the context that led her to commit these heinous crimes? Well, let me tell you. You see, Elzbieta was born and raised in Poland. Her father was a pediatrician. She was 8 years old when they moved to the United States and left Poland. She had to grow up and fend for herself at a young age. When she was in high school, she met Arthur. When she became pregnant, she dropped out of school. She married Arthur in July 92, and this is when Matt was born, their eldest. Elzbieta knew that Arthur married her because he knew that it would be his ticket to the United States. See, for her, it was difficult when she first moved to America because she felt a loss of social status. You see, in Poland, she was the daughter of a physician, but in the United States, she was an immigrant cleaning lady. She described her relationship with her mother as not very good. She felt that she was never good enough for her mother, and her mother was verbally abusive. She also put a lot of energy into raising her children. She wanted to be a perfect mother with perfect children. She was jealous of her children because they had the perfect mother that she never had. This type of thought process was a common trait of narcissistic personality disorder. She was basically using her children as pawns to boost her own self-esteem. She was not satisfied with her marriage. She felt that she had made sacrifices, such as foregoing her own education to raise children. She also felt that Arthur was mostly absent. She did not seem to consider that Arthur's absence was because he was working to support the family. She did not value that contribution. She felt that she was doing all the work and that Arthur was not helping. She tried to make friends with her employers because she did not like to be viewed as hired help. It was believed she put her children on pedestals. Prior to all these crimes, Matt was arrested for marijuana offense. Justin in school had given someone the middle finger. So because of this, Elzbieta had to go to Justin's school regarding the incident. But to her, after these two moments, both children fell off this pedestal as they did not reflect that she was a perfect mother. The children became objects of displeasure and later hate. She committed the murders because she felt unappreciated. Her husband did not help her, her children disappointed her, and her mother treated her badly, according to her. None of this is obviously true. Some conclude that she committed the crime as a vicious birthday gift to Matt. And I've always said, as human beings, one of our biggest needs is this desire to feel wanted, to feel needed, to feel important. But of course, if we don't get these needs, it doesn't mean we can go and commit murder, right? Now, I'm going to go into information on her psych evaluations. Dr. James Patrick Corcoran met with Elzbieta 53 times. The first meeting was in 2012. He believed that she was suffering a psychotic episode when she arrived in the jail. He said that the psychotic episode resolved itself between November and December 2012. He diagnosed her with a depressive disorder. He did not believe that she was faking or exaggerating her symptoms. He testified that he did not believe that she was suffering from alcohol withdrawal. You also had Dr. Philip Resnick, who was accepted as an expert in forensic psychiatry. He reviewed all the records, reports, and interviews involving this case. He testified that she told him that on the day of the murders, she followed her normal routine, working and picking up the kids from school. She took the children to a church service in the evening and was blessed by a priest. This blessing made her feel very good. The doctor said that this is what happens in a bipolar manic episode. Someone is too happy, exhilarated beyond the point of just being happy. She then took the kids and the dogs back to Marta's house. While the kids were playing, she took the dogs for a walk. When she returned to the house, she described seeing a black shadow enter the children. She believed it was the devil. She then went to the kitchen, took a knife, and took their lives. Dr. Resnick further inquired about the black shadow. She said she felt the shadow lightly touch the back of her hand. She said that the children saw the black shadow, but they were also scared. She told the children to pray. This is when she went to the kitchen to get the knife. She described hearing a voice that said, "Do it, do it, do it." She described feeling like something took over her body. The doctor acknowledged that she gave various descriptions of this black shadow and the devil entering the children, and she appeared to be somewhat confused. But he further testified that during their interview, he asked her whether she thought what she did was a good or bad idea. And she said at the time she was thinking that she was not supposed to do this, but that she had to. She said that in the moment, doing this to her children did not make sense because she loved her children. The doctor did go on to say he believed that Elzbieta consciously lied when she said that an intruder had killed the children. During his interview with her, she said that she did not remember telling anyone about an intruder. The doctor did not believe that Elzbieta was trying to misrepresent the truth during their interview. So one minute she says, yeah, there was an intruder. Next minute she says, I don't know, did I say intruder? Eh? The doctor believed she was going through multiple psychotic themes, and on the night of the crimes, she was very confused and unable to accurately remember everything. He diagnosed her with bipolar disorder, manic type with severe psychotic features. He testified that alcohol or alcohol withdrawal played no role in what happened. In fact, when tested at the hospital after the incident, her blood test was negative for blood alcohol, and he believed she had a psychotic belief that the devil had entered the two children, and that by doing this, she was actually killing the devil and allowing the two children to go to heaven, and that she believed God would approve of what she was doing. Sorry, love, he will not. And the fact that she believed this, she was actually acting in the best interest of the children. But this demonstrated that she lacked the substantial capacity to appreciate the criminality of her conduct. But then there was another doctor. His name was Dr. Alexandra Oblosky. He testified, and he completed an evaluation to determine her mental state. He interviewed her between November and December 2012, and he said that she exhibited the medical conditions of severe alcohol use disorder, including narcissistic personality disorder and other specified depressive disorders. He actually agreed with the first doctor, Dr. Corcoran, that she was psychotic when in jail after the murders, but said that only some of her hallucinations were real and others were fake. He also said that it was pretty clear she knew of the criminality of her conduct when she did this. This is because she told detectives that she did not do it in her own house because she did not want to make a mess, and this showed that there was some rationale to her thinking. In addition, she tried to cover up the murders. She hid a knife in the garbage disposal under some dishes. She threw her cell phone out the car window, and most importantly, she made up the story about the intruder. The doctor testified that he watched the interview of her and the previous doctor, Dr. Resnick, and when Dr. Resnick asked her if she remembered telling the detectives about an intruder, there was a 12-second pause, and then Elzbieta just grunted. She started breathing faster and deeper, and eventually said she did not remember. Oblosky testified that this was an example of malingering or taking control of an interview situation. The question made her anxious and she did not want to talk about it further. And in regards to her statement that she and the children saw a black shadow, the doctor said that, well, if you're hallucinating, you can only describe what's in your own mind. If she had been hallucinating the black shadow, she would not have claimed that the children saw it too. How does she even know? And the chances are that her descriptions of her visual hallucination were not consistent, because she said that this shadow had one head, two heads, and then she said it had no heads, or that she could not describe whether the shadow had fingers or claws. So the doctor concluded that it was not an authentic hallucination. You see, in addition, generally if someone hears voices, they hear them speaking in their native language, right? Because her native language was Polish, he believed her description of hearing the voices speak in English supported a conclusion that Elzbieta was lying. He further believed that if she experienced hallucinations, she would be able to remember them consistently over time. She would not have memory problems or variation as to whether there were voices or whether there was a shadow, whether there was a devil or not remembering it. He believed that the story about the intruder, the shadow, and the devil showed that she knew that she did something wrong and that she needed an excuse. He did reveal that Elzbieta had an alcohol use problem for a long time and confirmed that after her father died, she did start to drink more, which resulted in agitation, anger, and family arguments. He stated that primary psychiatric conditions should not be diagnosed when someone is abusing any type of substance. Substance abuse could be misdiagnosed, as could all psychiatric conditions. But he did confirm that her alcohol misuse was not the reason she committed the crime. He believed if she truly had a psychiatric condition, such as bipolar disorder, she would have experienced a recurrent manic episode. During the 5 years, she had been in jail before the trial, and the county jail records did not indicate that she had any other episodes. In fact, she had been off antidepressants for about 18 months and not had any other disorder symptoms. And since she did not have any history of bipolar disorders prior to the crimes, it was more likely that when she was admitted to the jail, she was suffering from alcohol withdrawal or brief reactive psychosis. He also believed that when Dr. Resnick diagnosed her with bipolar disorder, this was improper. Now, with all this information, during the closing arguments of the trial, the state acknowledged that all three doctors agreed she was psychotic to a degree at the time she was admitted to jail. The state was not contesting this conclusion, but argued that it was not controlling her state of mind at the time of the offences. So following closing arguments, the trial court rejected her insanity defense. They found she suffered from a mental illness and that her psychotic state could have been caused by the loss of her father, her family's inability to meet her expectations, or a compilation of many factors. The trial believed that she was faking some of her psychotic symptoms after the crime, and the trial court found that even if she thought that the devil was in the children, she knew that it was wrong what she did. And with all of this, she was sentenced to life in prison. I'm sure there was some kind of mental illness at play, but in my amateur but humble opinion, she just felt alone and that she did not belong and that she was fed up, right? Working God knows how many hours looking after these children, cleaning whoever house that she was doing, right? Where in her mind in Poland, she lived like a king or queen rather, right? She just had enough and she was like, you know what? If I have to go down, I'm taking all of you with me. But of course, that's just cowardice of the highest nature. So life in prison is the least she deserved. Comment, tell me what you think.